Namaste everyone. So this is the fifth class regarding the chapter heat. In the previous class we have finished or we have covered clinical thermometer and notes also I have given. One request to all the parents is worksheet completed to please send to my email ID. Don't send through WhatsApp. I'm getting a lot of that one. It creates a memory power to the mobile, and plus we are taking class to the 10th standard and we are recording these videos in mobile only, so space problem will be there. I hope every parent will understand this. I have already shared my mail ID in 7th standard group. Twice I have shared, and individually also I am sharing my email ID. Hereafter I am making it very clear. Hereafter if I get any worksheet through WhatsApp, I will not correct that one. I will correct the worksheets which I receive through the mails only. I am making it very clear. So I request the parents to see that, even the students also, not to send the completed worksheets to WhatsApp, and please make a separate notebook to maintain all the notes what I am giving every day. Okay, so let's start the class. So yesterday we have seen a clinical thermometer, how it functions, how to handle that, and how it works, and what are the precautions to be taken. Same way, today we take the laboratory thermometer. This laboratory thermometer is different from clinical thermometer. In what way it is different? Let's see, understand that. So I hope this is the diagram what I have drawn. This is the structure of a laboratory thermometer. This laboratory thermometer contains a bulb here which contains mercury, and there you can see a thin bore glass capillary tube here which is made to make easy flow for the mercury. And you can see here mercury thread, slowly it rises in the capillary tube, and this outside part of the laboratory thermometer, which we call it as thin bore glass tube. So there are three important parts. One is the bulb where mercury is there, and this is the capillary tube where mercury can easily flow, and this is the thin outside body of the thermometer is thin bore glass tube. This laboratory thermometer is used for measuring the temperature in a science laboratory. For example, for conducting experiments, sometimes we need to take the room temperature. In that situation, we have to use or we have to make use of this laboratory thermometer, not the clinical thermometer. This laboratory thermometer varies from range minus 10 degrees centigrade to 110 degrees centigrade. You can see here minus 10, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. This is 10. This is 10 means you have to read it as 110 degrees centigrade. This is used in the laboratory to measure the temperature of different liquids. For example, if you want to check at what temperature the water starts boiling, that time I have to use this laboratory thermometer, not the clinical thermometer. If you want to check at what temperature the tea boils, every day we prepare tea or coffee, so that time we have to make use of this laboratory thermometer. Then how to use it? I draw here, it's a small. So let me see. For example, this is a beaker I have taken here. So here I have taken water. This is H2O water, and this is a beaker I have taken. So here I immerse the laboratory thermometer. So imagine this is a laboratory thermometer, and here we have a gas or a burner in the laboratory. So I don't have space, kindly excuse me. So here only I am trying to explain. So these are, imagine the readings, different numbers we have. Once the water starts boiling, slowly the mercury which is there in the bulb here, which is there in the bulb. So this is the bulb of the mercury thermometer, and this is also the bulb of the thermometer. Slowly, as the water starts boiling, the mercury level in the capillary tube rises. When water starts completely boiling, it stops, and we know that water boils at 100 degrees centigrade. I am explaining how it works. So once the water starts boiling, the mercury slowly rises through the capillary tube. That means through this tube I am showing here, and then it stops at 100 degrees centigrade. Then we take out of the thermometer and we read it 100 degrees centigrade. Here one thing you have to observe, that in this laboratory thermometer, kink is not there. We have used this kink in the clinical thermometer, but in laboratory thermometer this kink is not there. One question I got in today's evening through the mail, that why kink is not there present in laboratory thermometer. The reason is, I have shared the doubt also there. The reason is, kink, which is a graduated arc in the clinical thermometer, prevents immediate falling of mercury. But here in the laboratory thermometer, kink is not there, because the moment you take out this laboratory thermometer from the liquid, whichever liquid you are taking, immediately you have to make a note of that one. Otherwise, the outside temperature starts acting on the laboratory thermometer, and the mercury level immediately starts getting low. That time we may not get the exact boiling point or exact boiling point of water or any other liquid which we are doing an experiment on. So kink is not present in the laboratory thermometer. Very important point to note this. I am repeating, kink is not there in the laboratory thermometer because when you take the thermometer out of the liquid whose you are finding the boiling point, immediately the temperature, the mercury starts getting down. The reason behind this is the outside temperature acts on the thermometer. That is the reason why kink is not provided in the laboratory thermometer. This is how the laboratory thermometer works. If you want to know the maximum temperature and minimum temperature, this we see in news. What is the maximum temperature of Dharwad and minimum temperature of Dharwad? In those cases, we have to make use of laboratory thermometer. Only for the experimental purpose, we use laboratory thermometer. Now, what are the precautions to be taken to handle this? So, one is, the most important precaution is we have to handle this laboratory thermometer very carefully. You have to handle this very carefully. Second is, while measuring the temperature, the laboratory thermometer should be held vertically. This is the second point. It should be held vertically and you should be parallel to your eyesight. In clinical thermometer, we used to have to hold horizontally, but in laboratory thermometer, we used to hold it vertically. And temperature, mercury in the laboratory thermometer gradually decreases. You have to make very correct observation of that one, because kink is not there. So while taking the reading in the laboratory thermometer is also a skill. You have to have it immediate, and it should be held parallel to our eyesight always. Not only this, many devices, instruments are there in science where we need to keep that to our eyesight level, parallel to our eyesight, not below our eyesight, not over our eyesight. Should be always parallel. Second point, the thermometer bulb. See, this is the thermometer bulb. Should be surrounded from all the sides by the substance whose temperature is to be recorded or whose temperature is to be measured. I repeat, the thermometer bulb should be surrounded from all the sides by the substance whose temperature is to be measured. For example, you want to measure the boiling point of water. That time the bulb, the lowermost part of the thermometer, should be dipped completely in the liquid. Should not be held on the upper side, or it should not be partially submerged. No, it should be submerged fully. I'm talking about the bulb of the thermometer. You cannot dip the whole thermometer, it is not possible. You have to dip the bulb of the thermometer completely, not partially, so that it will give the correct reading for which you are doing an experiment. So this is also one of the important precautions. The next precaution is the thermometer should not be held at the bulb. You should have it in the middle like this. If this is your laboratory thermometer, you have to hold like this parallel to your eyesight. I am repeating the word, not at the bulb. I told you yesterday. If you hold it here, the body temperature adds to this thermometer, and again the mercury level starts increasing. Because as a human being, we too possess certain amount of body temperature. If you hold it at the bulb, our body temperature adds to this and mercury again starts rising. That time we may not get the exact value for which we are doing the experiment. Hence, we should hold the laboratory thermometer vertically only, not horizontally. This is wrong position. This is the correct position of the holding laboratory thermometer. Coming to the next point. What makes a laboratory thermometer different from clinical thermometer? In textbook it is not given so precisely. So I will tell you what are the differences between laboratory thermometer and clinical thermometer. See, here I have written difference between clinical and laboratory thermometer. Clinical thermometer, laboratory thermometer. In short, I have written lab thermometer. First one, range varies from 35 degrees centigrade to 42 degrees centigrade. In clinical thermometer, the range is very small because it is meant to measure the temperature of human beings. Whereas in laboratory thermometer, range varies from minus 10 degree to 110 degrees centigrade. Wide range you get. Second point. Clinical thermometer is used to measure body temperature, either human being or animals. But laboratory thermometer is used in the labs to measure the temperature of different substances. So we have different substances in the laboratory. If you want to measure the temperature of that liquid, at which temperature it melts, at which temperature it boils, that time we have to make use of laboratory thermometer. And third is, in the clinical thermometer, kink is present. In laboratory thermometer, kink is absent, not present. I told you why kink is present in clinical thermometer and why not in laboratory thermometer. This is differences between clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer. I hope you understood the concept of laboratory thermometer, how to read it, how to handle it, and what are the precautions to be taken, and what are the differences between laboratory thermometer and clinical thermometer. Tomorrow I will give the difference between these two and the notes of laboratory thermometer. If you have any doubt, please respond. I am requesting you all people, please respond to my mail ID, not to WhatsApp, because it's a space problem, and moreover we are taking class for 10th standard also.